Well, welcome back to the Pit of Despair, and tonight we're going to see if we can rustle up a little bit of controversy on the interwebs with all the professional scientists, welders, metalworkers, and all that, because I have an opinion to share with you, and anytime I share an opinion, there's always somebody who's going to call me on it. But you also learn a lot of good information that way that you didn't know that you thought you knew. So anyway, and here it is. Here's my big controversial whatever opinion. Now, I may not be the best welder in the world. I can make metal stick together and I can make it hold and be strong, but I have dealt with drilling a lot of steel, a lot of stainless, a lot of things like that in my line of work. And I have found over the years that the best thing that I have found to use as a coolant and a lube is Windex, or like say your minus 20 below zero windshield fluid, anything that has high ammonia in it. Now, ammonia is like any other, so the way how do I put it? So the ancient Egyptians had refrigeration. Any of you know that? I'm sure a few of you do. It was usually a clay pot within a clay pot with wet sand around it, packed in between the two clay pots. So the clay is porous, and what would happen is the wind blew over it, it would evaporate that water. As you evaporate fluid, it actually extracts heat from whatever it's making contact with. That's how refrigerant works. It flashes off, and as it flashes, it extracts heat out of the air. It doesn't really make it colder, it just pulls the heat molecules out. Ammonia is very good at this. It is really good at doing that. Now, I'm not saying go get yourself some high concentrated ammonia and do this, because it probably wouldn't be very good for your health. But your regular window cleaner, stuff like that, is perfect. And I've drilled a lot of stainless over the years using regular hole saws, things like that, using Windex as a coolant. Now, I've tried WD-40, PB Blaster, regular cutting oil, things like that. Nothing I have ever found works nearly as well as Windex. So the reason I'm telling you all this, because we have a lot of holes to drill in this piece of 1/2-inch plate steel as we are continuing on with our main forge for that shop, if it ever gets done. On the plus side, the weather looks like it's going to be getting a lot better to come this weekend, and all through next week I have sunshine. I saw 60 degrees in the extended forecast. I couldn't believe it. I had to slap myself. So we'll see if it comes true or not, but here's hoping it is, because boy, if we can get weather like that, we can really, really accomplish something out there. So anyway, we're going to be drilling the holes. I've got a lot of pilot holes to drill. And what we're going to be doing, I'll show you. If I can get the piece here. So, you guys see how I kind of have a half-assed design on there? We're going to cut slots in this. Now, I was going to set this up with a double blower. I feel like Wilson from Home Improvement right now. Kind of cool, huh? So I was going to set this up with a double blower, but looking at my pipe size and everything, I got thinking, do I really want to overcomplicate it that much? It just needs to get air below a bed of coal. And that's just to keep it going. But I was more worried about concentrating all of the air in one space and just having a hot spot right up through the middle. And I got thinking about it. When I'm dealing with HVAC runs at work, when you have diffusers and ceilings, and they diffuse the air so it spreads it out. And I got thinking, well, I could do the same thing with this. If we make the slots a little bit narrower and angle the holes real steep so they kind of blast out towards the sides of the fire pot, should work a lot better. And then with one good size hole in the middle. The only thing I'm going to have to be aware of, or keep in mind, I'm not putting a clinker breaker in this, because I find that a nice long poker does the job just fine. And you can kind of stir up, get your ash to the bottom, get your coal more to the top. So that's the method I'm going to be using. But anyway, we're going to get after it. We're going to start drilling holes, and I'll see you guys on the other side of it. Alright, I told you I'd show you. So I just drilled all those, was there 7 holes right there? Little bit, and I could pull the bit out of there and it's nice and cool. So I'm just going to hog these out a little bit with a bigger bit. See how this goes. Now, I can take that, after drilling with that, I can leave my finger right on it. Everything is cold to the touch. Now, I'm not saying this is the best method in the world. It's like everything else I try to show here, it's kind of what works for me. Let's see if it's still, yeah, nice and cool.
Dream up a world of pirates, climb the highest tree, fall down. Mama, I'm fine, don't worry. Go back out to sea, sail home, sweet home, where the ships must go to get all cleaned up and put away. Call it a day. Fight off 1,000 monsters hiding in the sands on Mars. Hijack a flying saucer, steady on the hand, fly home, sweet home, where the saucers go.
Well, everybody, it is that time again. Once again, I've spent way too much time out here in the shop tonight. I'm going to get to bed way too late by the time we get this footage done. But we're making good progress on what we're doing. So pretty much we're getting the 2-year squared away. And that's what we have. A little bit cleaner than the other night. Or last night's. We've got some grinding left to do on it, make that prettier. But anyway, we're making good progress, and I know on this one there will be some gaff from saying it, because I'm going to throw in the title. And again, I always try to be upfront and honest with you guys what we're doing and what we're trying to do. But anyway, I'll be throwing it in the title there that I do believe that this is probably one of the best coolants for drilling, metal cutting, things like that you can find. It's cheap, it's easy to use. It can be a little messy though. So, and the other thing, you got to watch your aluminum parts or white metal parts, magnesium, aluminum. If you're going to be using a lot of that, make sure you rinse them off, because ammonia will eat that stuff. But think of it like this: if you leave a chainsaw with a magnesium crankcase on it sitting on a concrete floor, it ends up oxidizing it pretty badly, and that's from the ammonia content in the concrete. But anyway, it works really well. I could drill one of those holes, give it a couple sprays while I'm drilling it. I could pull that bit out and it's cold to the touch, and that's what you want. And that'll make your drill bits last a really long time. Like I said, I'm not an expert metal welder by any means, but that is one of the tricks I picked up over the years from a guy I learned it from was an old pipe fitter I worked with, and he said if you want to make a hole saw last a real long time drilling stainless and things like that, because I was fighting a walk-in cooler one time, and just he says an old timer told me that you use Windex, and I tried it out, and I tell you what, I was highly impressed with it. and I don't go through drill bits or hole saws nearly like I used to. I've got one hole saw here that I drill well casings with. That's some pretty thick steel, and I've had it for years. I can't tell you how many well casings I've drilled out with it for pitless adapters, and it works great. So anyway, before we leave you tonight, please make sure, if you think of it, check out Fall Line Ridge, check out Wrenches and Boards, and Small Workshop Guy. Those are the 3 channels that we are spotlighting all week. I know I have to get the links in the descriptions. I'm sorry about that, folks. I've had a couple comments on it. But if you go to the playlist that we've started on this channel, you will find a bunch of trailers for these small channels that we're going to be shouting out. The descriptions, my internet here, it takes all night to upload a video that's like 15 minutes long, and when I'm running out the door for work in the morning, I don't have time to find the links and paste them in the descriptions. Usually I have to go back after the fact if I think of it and do it, so forgive me for that one, but we try. So anyway, Fall Line Ridge, Wrenches and Boards, and Small Workshop Guy. 3 pretty good channels. So you guys have a good night, and I will catch you on the next one.